You're watching Channel 7. Welcome back to even more Daily Rundown with me, Dan Morfitt, and my guests, Stephen Armstrong and Ashleigh Talbot. Now, the story today is from the World Health Organization. They say that the Zika virus could spread to Europe this summer, although the likelihood of an outbreak is low to moderate. Areas most at risk are those where mosquitoes may spread the virus, like the Black Sea coast of Russia and Georgia. Countries with a moderate risk include France, Spain, Italy and Greece, while the risk in the UK is low. The UN agency is not issuing any new travel advice at this time, but it is perhaps going to be a global issue, this Zika.
A lot of the larger organisations are treating it as such. So the UN and the World Health Organization have got together to say, we need to sort this out, because if this goes global, we'll have like entire generations of children born potentially with quite serious problems, of course, as we've seen in Brazil at the moment. It's already reached the southern area of the US. So the US government are currently throwing money at it.
Texas, Florida, all hits, Louisiana particularly as well.
Warm, humid, obviously, So there are, they're kind of going on it even now. Essentially, the reason that we're not hearing a load about it here in the UK is that, as you say, that we're kind of not really at risk from it as such. But it's a virus, it's an unpredictable organism. What happens?
People travel around the world
exactly.
every single day. We do business in southern Spain, northern Africa, every single day. People are coming off and getting on planes. It is a worry.
And the real worry and the kind of doomsday scenario is basically if the Zika virus mutates into something significantly more dangerous, because it's evidently already quite readily transmittable, isn't it? It's transmitted by mosquitoes and through sexual activity.
We've had fears in the last few years, things like SARS, avian bird flu, but those sort of went away. There were a few limited cases and medical services seemed to be genned up on it wherever it was on the planet. This, though, already exists. We've already seen massive deformities in newborn babies and pregnant women in South America. This is a fear, isn't it?
It is a fear. If we have a moderate risk, we have the European Football Championships happening in France this summer, so that's the nations from across Europe. You're going to have broadcasters that are going to be there. You're going to have, the idea, the last I'd heard about the Zika virus was that there seemed to be, there was a suggestion that they'd found a new cause for it and that it might not be what they originally thought. It just seemed, if
it's like Ashleigh said, it could.
That's the fear, isn't it? That it could
transform into something else.
Into something else. It's a virus. There is kind of always that risk. Now, you're definitely right about the kind of people sort of wanting to ramp up the fear, but in this case, there's kind of already more of visible real-world outcome than there was for H1N1 and swine flu and bird flu and all the other flus, where it's like, oh God, we're all going to die of this flu. I was like, no, it's not. That's just, the media trying to scare you, basically. But Zika does seem to be a little bit different because it is demonstrably spreading and it does have, it definitely has a real-world outcome. Even if the person that catches the virus isn't killed by it, it can then go on to cause serious harm. So,
and like you said, we've got the Euro Championships in France, but
we've got the World Cup in Brazil,
the Olympics.
Whatever.
The Olympics.
Something with rich people.
But that's going to basically the epicenter of where Zika has really spread the quickest and furthest throughout the population. The Australian Olympic Board have already issued their athletes with condoms with anti-Zika protection on them. But it's already been said that a few athletes might just pull out of the Rio Olympics altogether for fear of this. And like you said, it's not what you're going to get immediately, but the virus could stay dormant in you for years. If you then try and have a child, whether you're a man or a woman, it could malform sperm. It could make actually carrying a child to term even harder, or even malforming children as they come out of the womb. It's a pretty serious, scary thing.
It's not good, is it? So, but science is on it. Basically, there's I know there's quite a lot of research taking place.
And is this just a natural way of things? Because we had the Spanish influenza outbreak in 1918. It killed more people than World War I. People forget about that. It's just another global virus. We get waves of this, and we either battle it or we just let it happen.
I don't know which approach are you advocating for there?
I don't know, but Zika's so important and serious that we could lose a generation of children in Brazil. That will have massive effects on their economy and just the state of the nation. So if it does come to Europe and if we're not protected, that's going to be bad. It's going to be the modern version of a zombie apocalypse. Not that I'm ramping it up too serious, but
far from it.
No,
it's one of those things that
it is a concern, isn't it?
It's a concern.
I would keep your eye out. Basically, let's keep paying attention to what happens and hope that the whole climate change thing doesn't kick in too soon, so England stays relatively cold.
It's got to be Zika, or we're all going to drown. Right, let's look at a happy story now. Drug cheats from the London Olympics were close to being exposed after 31 athletes have tested positive following a re-examination of samples from the Beijing 2008 Olympic Games. All are now facing bans from Rio 2016 thanks to targeted retests carried out using the latest techniques in the fight against doping. Now, the International Olympic Committee have said samples from London 2012 are expected to be revealed before the end of this month. The aim is to prevent any drug cheats competing in Rio 2016. Look, we've already mentioned the Zika virus. By the sounds of it, the Olympics might be half empty anyway because there won't be that many people running. Perhaps. They've all been doped up to their eyeballs from 2008.
I think the answer to this is quite clear. We should just not alienate the cheats. We should just diversify, and we should have an Olympics for clean athletes and an Olympics, we could maybe call it the Ben Johnson Olympics, or the Eastern European shot putting team Olympics. And you could have, I want to see a man or woman or leopard, man, woman, leopard cross hybrid run the 100 metres in 4 seconds. I think that would be fantastic. I want to see a man
that would be a spectacle.
Throw another man 150 metres with a pointy thing on the head and the human javelin. I want to see more entertaining things. The X Games are not good enough for me. I don't
are we
want to
going
see
back
BMXs.
to the running man, which you've already mentioned?
No. My idea is that we should have clean Olympics. We should have a clean Olympics, and then we should have a dirty Olympics, and we could have maybe Mickey Rourke could shoot a syringe into a pit of I don't know.
Ashleigh, save Stephen on this.
Into
his ideas are wacky, and I like them.
A pit of fiery toxic waste.
There you go.
For the opening ceremony.
There you go.
Opening ceremony. So yeah, I think we'd have to hold those Olympics probably in Glasgow or something, maybe, or
I don't know, maybe.
Sorry to people in Glasgow.
Medellin, maybe in the sort of Medellin area of Colombia, maybe sort of the cartels.
It's a weird thing though. So 31 athletes have been proved that they were doping in Beijing.
Yeah.
We're now going to reveal the ones that were doping in London 2012. This Olympics in Rio, we've been talking about the Zika virus in Rio. I don't think anybody's that excited about the Olympics otherwise.
Well, certainly not many of the inhabitants of Rio.
No.
As you and I have discussed on this very programme.
Yeah,
so.
Get out the favelas, we'll send the death squads in.
Yeah.
But we've already got a lot of the Russians banned from this upcoming Olympics. A lot of Kenyan athletes are not going to be allowed to take part. I don't think your idea is too bad, because the whole Olympic ideal of let's all get together and show our nation's greatness, it's gone out the window if everybody's drugged up to their eyeballs.
Well, I mean, I have visited Brazil. I visited the northeast corner in Salvador, and I can say I've never met more welcoming, enthusiastic, beautifully brilliant people who just enjoy partying. Every Tuesday is music night. I just think that the idea of Brazil as a host for any event is fantastic. I just think that, I've been in Brazil, the massive amount of people who live in the favelas looking down on the very few people who have big cars and drive it around and all these kind of things. There is a massive difference in how people live in these countries. The idea that we're revealing cheats like from previous Olympics, you know, reminds me of there's a Two Ronnie sketch where he's on Mastermind and he answers the question previous.
before.
It just seems like this is the same thing as we'll reveal the jug treats, but only for the last Olympics.
So do you think the highlight of the Rio Games this summer will be actually the medal ceremonies for London?
Maybe, yeah.
We'll just redo the medal ceremonies.
I was just thinking it would might be more like the 100 metres tumbleweed or something, you know.
I think we should just go back to basics because, you know, the modern Olympics as they are now were started in Shropshire, in Much Wenlock. I think we should go back to egg and spoon race, sack race, three-legged race, and maybe once again Britain will be at the top of that glowing medals table.
I think they should at least write the winners in pencil for the Brazil Olympics, so that if we need to like rub them out, or maybe we should just have athletes passing the medals to the athletes who actually deserve them.
That is the greatest thing I think anybody's ever said in the Daily Rundown. Just write the results in pencil because they're not hard and fast in the record books yet. And every loser gets a wooden spoon.
Hopefully the American election won't be like that.
Yeah.
Let's write the results in pencil in case we have to change it because the other candidate offered us more money to.
But if they do it in a Donald Trump pencil, it will be the best pencil that the world has ever seen. It'll be a great pencil.
We all know they're going to do it in
bankrupt
crayon.
after a year or two, though.
I've just realised I've mentioned Trump, and I'm so sorry. We tried.
No,
not to mention
that was
Trump.
me. I did that. Sorry.
Blame Ashleigh. Right, that's all we have in this part of the show, but we'll be back to talk about fitness next with Kirk Miller. So get your shorts on and your lycra, and we might be getting physical. All of that on the Daily Rundown in a couple of minutes.